and good morning to this beautiful day. And I am just starting on this nature hike, and I hope to just talk. Let's have a conversation, because that seems to be the social norm today, isn't it? Between ourselves instead of this progressive countercultural idea that we have to live in our own bubbles. And I didn't mean countercultural, but the idea that we live in a culture that counters our elements, our deepest ecological needs within ourselves. So, taking this time to really breathe and feel within can be a very enjoyable experience, even though I know many have not experienced them themselves. So, I hope that this experience really brings you alive as much as the spring is right now. I mean, I don't know what that is, a weed, but even they're beautiful and green at this time. Yeah, the weeds always sprout first, just like the politicians in a moment of crisis after the winter storm. So, the best thing is to focus on yourself at this moment. And living in this moment, we see with wide eyes where we come from, what we experience, who's to experience, and live this life with. So I hope to journey with you in the next few moments, because speaking kind of takes a toll on me. So I'm learning to increase this throat chakra as I speak. That's a really good pun. How we live for one another and be a service to our ecological needs within this time that doesn't really need any self-doubt of what is happening. And that brings clarity back to ourselves, to see that this very reciprocal need is to reconnect, realign, and find these pieces of ourselves that we've never seen before. Because when we're centered back into our house, our home, our family's dynamics, we start to see for what it really is, spending time with them. And what I mean by that is the boundaries and the connections, and seeing how we actively are with them instead of finding our place where we're not, where our culture exceeds to dismiss these ideas, these themes in our life. And I mean distract us from really knowing our own helplessness at times, I suppose. We kind of can go anywhere we want to and avoid situations, and our excuse is work, is to understand that these places give us an outlet, and in a good way too, but in the lesser road, the low road, I'm on a hill, so I'm thinking a low road and high road, but to see these extremes and polarities as your own self-making. I think that's what I always enjoy to do, because giving ourselves takes a lot. It does. It doesn't happen in one simple time. It takes a consistency of character and depth to really be in alignment and achieve results, like anything in a workout, or you want to gain these muscles and these psychic muscles really activate our core heart and our brain strength. I'm just going to show you some images here in a second, because who doesn't like the river and the sun and the big hill, wherever the hill is. Where the hell are you? Anyways, I love this place. It's got everything in a matter of a 2-minute walk, maybe a little longer. But sharing with you these ideas of knowing where we come from. Honestly, where we come from, not just our workplaces and back to home, into our ecological depths, bringing up our heart into a realm of centeredness and groundedness, and where we really want our lives instead of supposing where we want our lives. I thought that was the cave. I really wanted to live there. So right now I understand these times are gravity lifting, or we're ungrounded. Both of these words are a little thing, but we feel gravityless. We feel our feet are not touching the ground, and gravity is not there to hold us at this moment for many. But it's also come to a lot of creative ideas and expressions. A lot of people are really getting out there, and it's a blessing to see. I don't see crisis and chaos. I see the flow really happening, that people are coming back to this idea of themselves and saying, hey, this can be my living. This all sucks, but I love it. So listening to ourselves and bringing back the depths that we were gives us a chance to remember. And that's the most important thing of the heart these days. That even in our online presence, we are coming together and finding this heart is always present with us. And I wrote this morning that the heart is all encompassing. All we need to do is connect to that heart center and to earth and sky and live it to our fullest. And those depths and layers of meaning, they create us and will us to the end of our days. So in these ecological times, let's figure this out together. And so we're coming up here on my favorite spot, something everyone should know, but won't, because it's mine. But like, we got the river and more river and land. And do you see a single human? No. I saw a squirrel. He's my best friend now. He ain't bringing no virus up in here. So, living from a deep place within, which I always go to, only because this is what connects us to our higher selves. I read a quote the other day that if we go deep within, we deserve what's high above. I think that comes from the Torah. And living these energies that really set a foundation for us, we're able to build off them, because living in this moment, we are remembered. And what I mean by that is you can start to self-actualize off of your, whether you want to call it Akashic Records or Ethosphere, or just your true self. And let's come to light here because it's always shady. But this is our true selves. We are light beings. Within the midst of this moment, we can begin tracking within and observing our feelings of how we're going to live this life. And I know everyone's not on that same path or has that capacity to really feel at a depth. We're all here to learn on this planet, and to actualize our feelings and to know them, to really get to know our feelings about things. Because we start off this life as an observer, and we're curious about things, and we don't analyze it, We don't start to judge what it is and discern how we can use it. We're just simply in that state of mind where we can say, I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm going to watch what it does. And that's the most clarity you can receive in this life. Just like our inner states, we can observe inside and say, I don't know, but here I am, and we're showing up together. Let's learn from each other. And when we take that into our senses, we're able to track it and be with it and really get to know it. And when you come into this state of knowing, you're able to live at a larger capacity in life knowing, because you're a part of it. You're essentially a part of all that is in this very moment. And I know I keep coming back to the moment, and perhaps because I'm so in the moment right now, letting everything flow. And that's what it's about. The flow must go. Kind of like a pipe, you need that water to flow through it to function. There can be no blockages or something to stagnate you. And there's another word, but nothing to give you inertia. So just come to know that every day is a place for empowerment. You're either going up the spiral or down it with your negativity, your complaints. And it's very easy to complain and continue to spiral downwards. But having faith and in presence in your callings, spiraling upwards, this is the place that we want to be empowered in, to really move forward in life. And that doesn't have to mean to be constantly progressive or busy. It can simply mean to be in a simple place where we feel we can do what I like to call sideways work, which is working on your creativity, releasing your past programs that don't serve you, and coming to this place that takes you to that leap of faith, to yourself becoming and knowing you can become better than who you originally were. And that's what we're always constantly trying to strive for, is our best selves. Ourselves who take us to this place of reminding ourselves that without who we are, this just would not be worth it. And I don't know if you all experienced rock bottom, but coming from a place of worthlessness is not where you want to be. Let's just put it that way. Touching that, I shouldn't say not where you want to be, but if you find yourself there, just know it's the earth is your last stand, that you're stepping on this physical groundedness, and that you can only go up from there. And so hearts connect to hearts through knowing that what brings us compassion through our pain and suffering. But joy is there to take us a step further and say, I can become someone anew and live fully on my own without the dependency of others. So I also want to talk about resilience. Resilience being that capacity to keep going those lengths, finding that spot where it really empowers you, it really drives you, and wants you to be in conscious connection in a constant rate of a gift, essentially, because it's feeding you this energy. Whatever mystery from the ends of the universe is feeding you. It is the constant flow that allows you to remember who you are and to walk who you are. Remembering that is everything. Because a heart encompassing yourself is feeling alive in a life that we were taught to not feel alive at all times, or even feel. We can't feel alive if we don't feel. And that comes with the pains and the suffering and the contradictions and the expansions that evolve us. It's all important. But where it's not important is where we get stuck and not knowing where we get stuck. That's the difficult part. That is the part we don't want. But if we happen to have that kind of part within us, just call for your spirit. Call for spirit guides. Call for your higher self, your lower self, whatever self you think at this time is going to help you. I know we all call upon God once in a while, thinking, why not though? That's the highest essence of the universe you can be calling to, and it does listen. But know that there's always time in these pieces and aligning their work. So when you do come into synchronicity with an event, it is for a purpose and a reason. But what you have to do is really feel and believe and call for it too. And know that they're calling for you, whatever piece of yourself you need. So be grateful throughout these days, because whining and complaining doesn't get us very far. And gratitude, it really builds on our character and really creates the world. Gratitude is freaking huge. It's the essence that speaks. If you don't stop now, I'll keep going with you. Because gratitude remembers. It remembers what life you're here to live. It's the one that brought you down to this planet and said, bring, learn, find, discover, feel. And if you gain any gratitude from this experience, bring it back to us. That's the reciprocity of the whole planet, is to bring down gratitude and bring back up gratitude. And with that, nothing can go wrong. Problems are simply just long-term solutions. When you stay so completely in this moment, it doesn't have to be about, oh, I dropped a package way back there and now I have to go back and pick it up. It can be about going back to that place and just saying, I'm going to take a nice walk back. And if I find my package, I am so dearly happy and grateful. So one moment from the next, your moment to mine. Let's build the world together. Yay!